I have to redo my points here. All right, so far this is what we have. We have our vertex at 1, 4, a y-intercept at 0, 3, and its reflection point at 2, 3. The last step is to find the x-intercept by plugging in 0 for y and solving this equation. So plug in 0 for y, and then go through the equation exactly like we practiced in the last set of videos. So you're going to get rid of the number at the very end by subtracting 4. Remember, we're doing the opposites because we're solving an equation. So subtract 4 on both sides, you get negative 4 equals negative x minus 1 squared. Then you want to get rid of n that is in front of the parentheses. So how do I get rid of a negative sign? Well, I multiply or divide by negative 1 on both sides, and that'll get rid of that negative sign. So negative 4 divided by negative 1 is positive 4. And now I have an x minus 1 squared because the negative sign here goes away. Now, you need to get rid of the square sign. Well, the opposite of squaring is a square root. So remember, when you take the square root, you're going to have a plus minus. So I have a plus minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2, equals x minus 1. And this is where I get the two equations for my x-intercepts. I have a positive 2 equals x minus 1, and I have a negative 2 equals x minus 1. All right, so in these equations, you're going to add 1 to both sides. So in the top equation, 2 plus 1 is 3. So you have an x-intercept of 3. And on the bottom one here, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 equals x. So you have an x-intercept at 3 right here, and an x-intercept at negative 1 right here. So your parabola, if we finish it, will look like this. All right, and that is essentially all there is to graphing. Follow these 4 steps. All right. If you ever need to go back and look at your notes, or if you ever need to watch another video, that's fine, because some of the other videos goes more in depth into each of these. But if you do those 4 steps, you should get a graph. Okay. One other thing I want to point your attention to is Desmos.com. You all have probably worked with Desmos.com in your geometry classes, but we haven't used it much this year. Anyways, I just want to say that it's not cheating, to look at the graph before you graph it. All right, as long as you're doing all of the math, right, all of the work, I'm fine if you graph something in Desmos and then use it to check your work when you're graphing. Okay, I know a lot of you don't like turning in incomplete work, so what you can do is use Desmos.com to check the graph you make. So if you type in the equation, it'll give you what the graph is supposed to look like. So y equals negative x minus 1 plus 4. There we go. Type in the equation of the graph and it gives me this. And we can see, we zoom in a little bit, this is the exact graph we have. Our vertex was at 1, 4. Our y-intercept was at 0, 3. Its reflection point was at 2, 3. And we have our x-intercepts. All right, so it's okay to use Desmos to check your work. Okay, that's completely fine. Don't cheat off of it. Don't use it just for this, because it won't always work, and it's easy to tell with specific problems. But for this one in particular, and for other ones, at least you can see the general shape and some of the points. All right, one more video with the last practice problem, and then you can work on your homework.